Hey guys, welcome to another Homelab Series video today. In today's video, we'll be showing you how you can integrate Active Directory with AWX. I've been using my AWX instance to do a lot of my automation for pretty much all my videos in regards to getting a server set up. And it is super nice. Obviously, the hard part about using AWX, especially in a company with lots of employees, is user management. And that actually honestly sucks if you have to go add a user in whenever you get new employees, or remove users when they either leave or change to a different team. So using Active Directory is a very nice way that you can use so that you can specify Active Directory groups that have access to it, and then use those to link to certain team roles in AWX so that you have specific permissions on things that you can run and things that you can't see. So that's what we'll be showing you today a little bit. So let's get started. All right, so the first thing that we'll need to do is actually go to our AD server and provision a few users and groups. This will essentially allow us to put people in certain groups and whatnot, so that we can essentially specify, hey, these users can log in or have this specific access in AWX. So what we'll do is we'll create a few groups. So in here we'll create a new group. We'll call it like AWX admins. And let's create like a new group for like AWX, like help desk or something. So you can allow your people from help desk using. You can obviously do like AWX developers and stuff like that. So it depends on how you want to separate it. But let's just do with these three groups first. So what we'll do is create a new user here as well. And we'll call it AWX admin. Obviously, this would be your actual user base of who should be it, but we're just going to show you like this for now so that you kind of can get a little general gist of how it works. So we'll just set a password. The password never expires. And we'll hit next, finish. And we will add them to be a member of AWX admins. We'll apply that. Then we'll do the same thing for developers and help desk here. So new user, AWX help desk, AWX help desk. Oh, I wonder if it can't be uppercase. Help desk. It's because it's the same name, so I should probably do done like an S. We'll just do a 1. Help desk 1. Save that, and then AWS developer. New user, AWX developer, and we can use this because I specified developers for the group. So I hope that doesn't mess me up later when I do the setup. Developer. Next, password doesn't expire. And finish that. So we'll add them to the group AWX developers. I didn't spell that right. Developers. As well as help desk, we'll add that to the help desk group. Help desk. And then the last thing that we'll need is a service account, because essentially the service account will be used to connect to LDAP. And obviously you don't want to use your own account because like your password might expire, or like you leave the company, then it'll stop working. So you want a service account. So we'll just name this like SVC AWX for service account AWX essentially. And password never expires, and we are set. So essentially what we have here is we got the 3 groups with the 3 users in each different group. and the AWX user for essentially binding to LDAP so that it can query LDAP, Active Directory using LDAP. So we'll minimize that for now. So what we'll do is log into our AWX instance as our admin user. So this would have been the default user that was created when we created this. And then we'll essentially go through the LDAP setup. So if you go to the left here, scroll all the way down, there's a settings. Then we'll go to LDAP settings. And essentially right here is where we will configure our LDAP stuff. So by default, we'll be using just LDAP, not LDAP-S. Depending on your company configuration, you might be using LDAP-S. In that case, you would change the URI and turn on TLS if you're using that. But in my scenario, I'm just doing normal LDAP. We'll just be going and hitting our ad.dragon.local server for our Active Directory, and it will be on port 389. So the bind password is for the password that you use for your AWX user service account. So we'll type in the password here. And then the bind, LDAP bind DN, is essentially the user. So we'll do the common name is SVC AWX. It is also in the users common name. So, and then the domain name is Asgard and local. So essentially, if you were to look in Active Directory, you can see over here we have essentially your domain dragon.local. Everything's in users. This might be slightly different if you're using different OUs and whatnot, but just basic Active Directory, I just put everything in the users essentially. So this should work, I believe. So let's double check. Yep, CN users, the service account AWX, Asgard, local. So we should be good on that. You don't have to fill out the template as well as the required group. The required group is if you want to set it up so that only specific AD groups can access, but I think this is limited to one. So I would leave, if you have multiple groups, I would probably leave this blank for now. Then you have the LDAP group search. So this is essentially searching for how to search for the users in here. So how we'll configure it is, so because all of our users are in CN, the common name users, the domain is equal to Dragon, sorry. I use Asgard as my home domain, and Dragon for just my fun stuff. So this is actually Dragon. Dragon.local. Then we need to set the scope on like how far it looks. So the scope will be subtree, which will essentially just look in everything underneath users. And then it will essentially, you can specify how it grabs the accounts. So we'll just go by account name. Account name equals the user S, like that. And then we will also do the group search, so it will look for any groups in this search essentially. So all my groups are also in CN users. So we'll just do CN users, DC, DC is equal to Dragon, and then DC is equal to local. It's how you have to format it. And then what we'll have here is essentially the same thing. We'll have to set the scope. So look for all the groups in users. So we'll just scope it under the subtree. And then it will define it by looking for the object class is equal to a group when it looks for it. Then we got user attribute mappings. So essentially we'll map email to whatever the email is set, and first name is the given name, and then last name is SN, and these are just normal LDAP attribute parameters. You can change them up if you'd like, or add more if you want. But those are I believe, default if you're just using basic Active Directory and you're not changing up attributes. Now the next part is setting the users flagged by group. So this is if you want to set, for example, in the users in here, when you add a user, you can specify their user type. So we got system administrators, normal users, and system auditors. So by default, if you don't specify a group, there'll be a normal user. But if you want to set a specific group, for example, like the admin group to be super users or system admins, what you'll set in here is super user. And then what we'll have essentially is you can specify in this all the groups that would be system users. So in this case, we will do cn equals AWX admins, and then cn equals users, dc equals dragon, and dc equals local. So what we essentially did was, in here we got AWX admins, in the users common name, and in dragon.local, and that group, anyone in this group, which will essentially just be our AWX admin user, will be able to access as a super user. So essentially, I'm logged in as admin, like just the local admin, so they'll have everything that I have right now. Then we'll want to do a few extra things. So the next thing is organization maps. So if you specify organizations in AWX, so I'm just going to use the default organization, but if you have multiple organizations, you can separate by that as well. So what I'll do is we're going to talk about the default organization and set essentially roles and stuff for that. So in this case, we can set the admins for this organization to be the same as above. So AWX admins in cn equals users, dc equals dragon, and dc equals local. Then we can set a few more parameters. So remove admins, and we'll set that as true. That way, if the admins don't exist anymore, we'll remove them. And then same thing with, we can do remove users. So we'll set that as true. And then you can do users in here. And what we'll do is essentially help desk, and so AWX help desk and AWS developers will be users in this organization. So we'll essentially do the same thing. So I'll just copy and paste here real quick. And move this one bracket back. So AWS developers and AWX help desk. Help desk will be users in regards to that organization. And then we'll do some mappings as well, because I think it kind of makes sense if you have multiple different teams, you want to change their roles. So we'll just make a few groups. So we'll create an AWX admins group. So this would just be kind of like your general admins group. It usually wouldn't matter as much, because in this case, I'm going to just specify, because they're already super admins, everyone in here is super admins, you already would have access already. But in case you need to specify, separate admins, you definitely can. So I'm going to just show you this for now, in case you want to do it. So all the users in this group will be that. We'll also set the remove parameter to be true as well if they are gone. Then we need to set the organization to be which organization they'll be a part of, which will be default in this case, but you'll probably have an organization if you created this. Also, you got to put the quotes in, and I think that is it. Taking a look real quick on my notes. Yeah, looks like that's it. So essentially, you rinse and repeat for all the other team mappings you want to do. So like, say for example, AWX help desk is the other one we want to do. We'll create that. We'll do the same thing as above, but but the users will be part of AWX help desk. and then we'll create one more group, and it will be AWX developers. And the group users in that group will be the developers. Now I'm hoping I didn't make any typos, because if I made typos, this is going to be significantly worse to deal with. So we'll hit save here. Got a dictionary of items, but got type string. So this is the awkward moment where I question my life, because I did all this and I need to figure out which one this errored on. Commas, commas, commas. That actually makes sense. Okay. Super user is super user. I don't need any commas there. That's the only thing. Comma, comma, comma. Groups, comma, give a name, commas. I got commas in those as well. Got commas in that. Scope looks good. Looking at this also looks good. I got commas in there. Oh God, everything looks right. This is what you really look and question your life. Which part did I miss? Expected a dictionary of items, but got type string. Oh man. Okay, so let's see. I'm trying to figure out if it's this box that it's erroring on. Oh, here it is. I missed this comma right here. All right, boom. All right, it was just a comma, guys. That's an easy fix. That's an easy fix. So yeah, you got to make sure you have your commas, otherwise you will miss or essentially error because it's not doing it right. All right, so now essentially that's all set up. So what we can do is now I'm going to open an incognito tab real quick so that I can show you logging in. So now we can log in. So AWX admin. I don't know if I actually capitalized that, but we'll see if it works. So you can see I log in as the AWX admin. I essentially get the same thing. I can log in, see LDAP, get the sessions, see everything in here with all the users and stuff. So I can re-edit this, but you can see here, it will now show under here that I am an LDAP admin, and I am, this user was created from LDAP, and I am a system administrator. So it does show you that it actually does it. It will also show you that it created the teams, so it logged in, I created the teams, and AWX admins is part of the AWX admins team. So you can see that, as well as in the organization access, AWX admin is a system administrator for this organization. So essentially that's all set up. So what I'll also show you is like AWX help desk, 1 in this case. So you can see that this one has a little bit less access actually. So it doesn't show you down here the settings, which is a system admin functionality, as well as you can see the users, and I'm just a normal user. So you can see I'm part of the organization, but I'm only just a member. So like if I had templates related to an organization, I would only have access as a member. So that's how you can separate things out, whether you do it via a team, so team aspect here, or based off of organization, if you have, multiple playbooks for certain organizations or, teams or whatnot. So essentially, I can do the same thing. So the help desk and the developer role essentially gives me the same thing right now because I don't have any template configurations. But you can see that I can log in. It populates, the developer now, normal user as well, because that's what we set them as. And they don't have, the settings or anything, but they can do, what a normal user would be able to do based off of my roles. So that is how you set up Active Directory with AWX LDAP. Hopefully that gives you guys a little bit of a general gist of how it works. It took me a little bit to get this, but once you kind of get through it, I think it kind of starts making sense. So hopefully this helped a little bit. And the one thing I will say is there is an option type for Active Directory, but I got it working with the member DN group type, which is what it was by default. So I might try the Active Directory, but for now, this looks like it works as I would expect. So that's super cool. So now I can log in, which I probably would just use the admin user anyways because I'm the only one that uses it. But in a corporate company environment, when you got hundreds of users, definitely useful to get LDAP set up to your Active Directory with AWX. So if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.